Hey, City City Beauty Plumping Lip Gloss. We're going to be using the Swamp of Sorrows palette from Notoriously Morbid, the Spellcast Beauty side of the brand. 15% code down below. You will wait a while for your order to come in. They hand make the Notoriously Morbid side stuff, the Spellcast Beauty stuff. They don't hand make. Full disclosure, I'm wired on Mountain Dew, and so I thought, let's do a video. I just got home less than 10 minutes ago from down at the space. It is Christmas Eve. They had a class, and so I was working as manager tonight. I just kept thinking they were going to cancel it, but they didn't. And so no family dinner and no leftovers, because where the family dinner is in Jersey is like an hour away, and so no leftovers from there. But I'll see what my neighbor has, you know, because we hook each other up with food. So this is what it looks like, and this does show up, as far as I remember, with the sparkles in it. And there, it's not showing blue on your end, but it's like blue, purple specks in here, and it is so pretty. This whole palette, I could probably do, this is a dual chrome. I'm seeing some pink or lavender in here. Oh, there it is right there. This shade right here. You see a little bit of it in there. So I would like to say I could do without these two, but they would be good for buffing something. And sometimes I do just like a strip of a light shade under my brow. This was only the third time I've used this palette. I don't remember what I did before. I'm sure I didn't do like these two columns for a look, because that's just too bland. Excuse me. But these two columns are definitely a look. These two are definitely a look. These 6 are definitely a look. These 6 are definitely a look. These 3 are definitely a look. Even these 3. Like, you can do... Oh, I forgot this was that purple blue shift that we all know and love, that we have about 20 times between all the palettes that we have, and the green burgundy. But this is just a beautiful palette. This is where I live. I know I do a lot of ethereal looks. I do a lot of monochromatic light looks. I just want to have variety on my channel, but like this is where I live. Give me the grunge, give me the smoke, give me the black base, multi-chromes, dual chromes. Yeah, so I'm excited to get back to it. And I am really trying hard to remember what we did last time, but I really don't know. And just a 2 shadow look. Put this all over the lid, and then put this in your crease or your transition area. And if you want to be smoky, put this also on your lower lash line. If you want to pop it a little bit, put this like on the center of your lower lash line and see how that shows up. But this is a beautiful palette. The formula in here, as you can tell, is smooth. You see these metallics? This is the formula I like. They are just, oh, I just love it. So this is going to be probably our first full face tutorial of 2026. I told you I just walked in less than 10 minutes before I started this. I haven't done anything to the face. It's looking dark. Why is it looking dark? I'm gonna wipe the lens. So rude. I don't know. So start to finish with the brows. So we're gonna do everything. So if you have not been here before, hello and welcome. I want to say I'm not always like this, but there's always something with me. It's part of my charm, right? Regular subscribers that are here, right? It's part of my charm, right? I love to have fun. I love makeup. I love to play in makeup. And I do, as you can see, have a silly side, which I think it makes me charming. But anyway, keep in mind I'm wired on Mountain Dew though. But yeah, I have different what's the word? I have different, I don't want to say different personalities, like they're completely different people. How was I want to say it? I look like I'm way off. I'm just turning you slowly. I don't want to say different personalities, different elements to who I am. And so sometimes I'm really serious, sometimes I'm completely goof troop. Sometimes I'm very like in my thoughts, and sometimes I'm just like, I don't care. But I think we all have different traits. That's what it is. Traits. That's the word I was looking for. And it depends on how we feel. I'll speak for myself. How I feel depends on what's happening currently, like in those moments, or if something happened like earlier in the day that was bothering me, or something that just kind of, try not to go like this when you're doing your brows because the pencil went where I didn't want it to go. But I am, like I said, wired on Mountain Dew. I had this look at my calendar to do like 2 days ago. I don't remember right now like why I didn't do it. I'm sure I slept late. Well, I always sleep late because I'm nocturnal. So I sleep during the day and I'm up at night. I'm going to change. I don't want to really say I'm going to change my sleep schedule 2026. But I'm going to adjust how I complete my list. Every day I have a to-do list, and if things don't get done, it just gets transferred to another day. This is the Fenty Brow MVP. It's the darkest shade, but to me, it could be darker. The shade is deep black. Once I fill this in over here, it's going to look a brownish red where there's no hair, but right here it will look dark, and you can see that my brow here is like a reddish brown, but where there's no hair, this does not look like a deep black. So there's sometimes, let me back up a little bit. I wake up every 90 minutes or so. And I was mentioning that to the neurologist, and he said everybody wakes up every 90 minutes. They just don't remember. Our sleep cycle is 90 minutes. And he said it's when like they may get up and use the restroom and don't remember. They may drink, get a drink of water. They may toss and turn a little bit, and you do need a certain level of brain activity to even toss and turn, you know what I mean? And so he said most people don't remember, and he said it was strange that I remember. I actually do remember like, every time I wake up, unless I'm under sumatriptan, which is my migraine medicine, because that knocks me out. I will wake up like 4 hours later in the same exact position I fell asleep in. And then I'm like, oh yeah, that was a good sleep. But it's a shame that it was induced by the migraine med. So sometimes I call them wake ups. When I wake up every 90 minutes, I call it a wake up. Because I'm not getting up, I'm waking up. And usually I do go right back to sleep. Or even if I, go use the bathroom, relieve my bladder, I will, go right back to sleep. But there's other times when I feel somewhat alert, like not enough where, okay, I could get up and just be up the rest of the day. And I'm talking about if I wake up like around like 12:30 or, 1:30. And sometimes I don't go to sleep until 10 in the morning. And so waking up at like, 12 or 12:30 is like, yeah, there's no way I'm getting up. But every once in a blue moon, I wake up and I feel somewhat okay. Like I don't feel groggy, like, oh my God, I just went to sleep, I need more. And when I have appointments, of course I need to set my alarm to wake up. And I tell people, anytime I have to set my alarm, it's going to be a long day because usually I don't go back to sleep. But there were a few days where I had in my to-do list, because I had coupons for BJ's. And so I'm like, okay, let me go to the store and, use these coupons because they expire tomorrow. And then I would come home and just whatever needed to be refrigerated or put in the freezer, I did that, and everything else just sat out. And I put back on my pajamas and got back in the bed and I slept. And so I was thinking today, I need to start doing that again and make that like a regular thing. And there also has been times where if I had paperwork to do for the business side of things, or, paperwork for something else to do, I would get up and do it, and then I would just go back to sleep. And so I'm thinking I need to get back to that. And what had me thinking about that is my to-do list, if I don't do stuff that day, it just gets shifted. And sometimes my calendar be looking crazy, like, girl, you got like 15 things in your calendar to do. And some stuff is like easy stuff, but I just put it in there just so I don't forget. And also, it helps me feel productive. Like when I look, because when I complete a task, and then of course, because it's in my calendar, it's, this is when I started it, this is when I finished it, and I put a check by it. And so I can always look back and see, okay, you had a productive day. Like it was a lot of little simple things, but you still did a lot of things. Like we do a lot in a day that we may not realize. And so it keeps me on track and it helps me feel productive to look back and be like, yo, you did all this stuff. And when I had mentioned that to my previous therapist, he was like, that's a good idea. Because for me, like, people, when I retired myself from work, people be like, what do you do? And I'm like, oh, believe me, you will find stuff to fill your time. And half the time, I don't even know like what day of the week it is, because every day is the same day in the sense that it's not, you know, you have this particular set of things to do on a Monday or a Tuesday, or, you know, you have a meeting every Thursday at work. So every day is a weekend, every day is a holiday. My brows look good to me right now, and I know when I watch it back on YouTube, it's going to be like, girl, one is chasing the other. Like, this one's coming over here, and this one's trying to catch it. And I do kind of see it now where they're not in the same place, and my brows are not naturally in the same place. But anyway, so I'm going to start doing that. If I feel alert enough to get up and do things, which is usually something dealing with paperwork, it's not going to be a video. But something dealing with paperwork or errands I need to run, you know, just do it and then just come home and go back to sleep. Or if it's paperwork, just do that. And then when I get sleepy again, go back to sleep instead of fighting trying to stay awake. And then I'm thrown off for the whole entire day. When I have medical appointments, I'm thrown off for the entire day because my appointment might be at noon. I'm like, girl, I just went to sleep at 10 this morning and my alarm went off at 11 to get up. So I can leave at 11:20 to get to my appointment. And when I get back home, it might be like 3 o'clock in the afternoon. And then I'm like, okay, I need to eat because I didn't eat yet today. And then I'm fighting to stay awake to do stuff. And even with that, my to-do list still gets shifted because my brain is like, you're not doing any work. We're going to shut down, sit your behind down, find something on TV or catch up on YouTube or something. But shout out to Janet, one of my channel members. She told me about, we've been chatting a lot about different shows, City Beauty, Brightening Eye Cream. I was on their PR team. I'm saying was because they're revamping their program. And when they come back in either late January or early February, they're only going to be on TikTok as far as where their PR stuff is. But I do have a shop my link below. And I will post when they have sales. Their stuff is expensive. And what I like about the Shop My Links is that you still have access to the sales going through my link, and it doesn't cost you any extra money to use my link. Listen, I have a lot of links down below. Feel free to share them, to save them, to use them. It costs you nothing extra. And if a site is having a sale, you will still have access to the sale. Natasha Denona, NY11. I do want to find one shade for down here because the NY12 is not cutting it. But I think what I'm going to try today is go ahead and put a little bit of face primer down there and put the NY12 over it. The Natasha, I'm putting primer on my palette. The Natasha concealers oxidize on my bare skin, but they do not oxidize when I put it on top of foundation. And so putting it here is going to look darker than it needs to be because I'm going to put it under the foundation today. And I might tap foundation over top of it. We'll see. I don't mind that this oxidizes right here because it does cover, like you see this, right? And so that's why I put this here first. And the reason I usually don't do concealer here first is because I mix my primer with my foundation, which means how am I going to put the product on top of that? And for my under eye, you saw I just put on eye cream and then put on the concealer. But we're going to see because I do have backup. I do have a backup of it. So I'm just like, And so I said, let me try it again this way, under the foundation and see if I like it better that way. Because if not, I'll give away the backup. And I know Grace uses it, excuse me, the NY12. And so I'll probably just send it to her. But I do just want a color that will always just cover it. And I have color corrected under there, but I don't want to put more and more and more product on my skin. You know what I mean? It's like, let me just do concealer and I'll do color corrector and then concealer and then blah, 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 blah. Yeah, we're going to use the same brush and we're going to take this right here and We're going to put this down here. And this is where we're going to put the NY12. So you see how it looks now. We're going to see how it looks. And y'all, it ain't no hair there. It's just like a permanent hair shadow. There is no hair there. I know because I'd be trying to shave it and I'm looking close. Like there is zero hair there. But it is common among POCs, people of color, that we do have darkness around our mouth, and sometimes it's even like down here, like this whole circle area. So it's not uncommon, and even some people who are not POCs, you know, they have that same dark area. So it's not unusual and it's not common, and to be honest with you, people don't notice it because almost everybody has it. So it's not like, oh, what's that? We all got a mustache, even whether there's real hair there or not. So it's just kind of like, what? So we're going to let that sit just for a moment. When you let your concealer sit, it dries a little bit, and so you'll get more coverage versus just putting it on right away and then blending it out. But I like how this looks under my eyes. So these two pumps here, that's where we're going to put our foundation. And I do like mixing my foundation with my primer. I don't know why. I know I do use less. We did 2 pumps of the primer and 1 pump of the foundation. That primer is a lot thinner than this foundation. This one is soft lit. This is the luminizing 335 from Fenty, and this is the soft matte primer from Fenty. I love the mix, and if I'm using the matte foundation, I'll use the luminous primer. I just love the combination of that like that. When I use the luminous or the soft lit primer with the luminous hydrating whatever foundation, to me, I was a glowworm. I'm like, this is too shiny. And for me, there's a fine line between looking shiny and looking just like regular glowy. To me, I looked a little greasy, and I probably didn't. I'm just not used to seeing myself looking shiny. So we're patting this out, and it still did not, because you can see where this area is still like my skin tone, and where this area is where the hair was. But we're going to put primer, the primer foundation mix on top of it. I missed the Estee Lauder Flawless, what was it? The Estee Lauder Stay in Place Flawless Wear Concealer, because that one would cover and it would look natural. They reformulated or something, and the newer one is light, it's brightening, and I'm like, I don't want to brighten, I just want to even out and have my skin look the same. And so I actually returned it, and I don't return a lot of stuff, but I was just like, why did y'all do this? And the PAO was 6 months. The previous one, the PAO was 12 months, and yes, you can use stuff longer. But I do label stuff. That's what all it is. These are labels. I'm a label whore. Hi, my name is Dion. I'm a label whore. You know, I label, you know. And so, because I have sensitive skin, so if my skin breaks out or something, or gets irritated, I'll look at what I use and be like, okay, the PAO was 6 months ago, so maybe it was that product. So it just helps me narrow down. That looks a lot better. And I think what I did the second time that I didn't do the first time was put some like right here just to even out this whole area. But as you can see, it's a little bit darker than my natural skin. You can see it here because I came out to here. So we'll see what it's going to look like after we mix our primer with the foundation. And so hopefully, and we are going to tap foundation over top of it, and we don't necessarily have to, I don't think, but if this works, then that's just what I'll have to do. Just do like an extra small, like quarter pump of the primer to use to put the concealer there. I was thinking of doing a video of like things I've learned in my makeup journey, but then I'm like, was it really, is it enough things to do that, to even just have a video like just dedicated to that? And I don't think so. And I'm thinking of that because I was about to share something that I learned. But I could though, and especially if it was a live stream, because then I can ask, you know, what the viewers, you know, stuff that they learned, and we can actually have a conversation. And so that might be good for a live stream. So thank you, Janet. Oh, I did do shout out to Janet, and I didn't say why. So right now, I do kind of still see, and I don't know if you do, but I can still see, like, it's not as dark, but I see like a little patch right here and just a patch right there. Whereas before, putting it on top of foundation, it was like that whole entire area, like how it looked before I put the concealer there. But right now it's like just like right here and like right there. But we're going to see what it looks like after we powder down. We have a little bit more foundation on here and primer. When I mix the primer with the foundation, I use less primer and foundation. When I was just using the primer first by itself, y'all, I was using like 3 pumps, 4 pumps. And primer, same thing, like 4 pumps. But when I mix it, usually it was 2 pumps each. But then I realized that this soft silk primer is thinner. So 2 pumps of that, it's either that's thinner or, wait a minute. This is the matte primer. The soft silk, because it has a different type of packaging. And you see how it's kind of octagonal, where this is just straight. This is thick. 1 pump of this equals 2 pumps of the soft matte primer. And I thought it was strange. And so when I was putting 2 pumps of the foundation with the 2 pumps of that primer, it was too much. And I'm just like, okay, wait a minute. And I'm almost done this primer. This primer is down to here. And for the foundation, I'm like up to here. You can't even see. I'm like up to here. But for the primer, we're like down to there. And that's cool because I do use them up. I only have 1 foundation and 1 primer. Face primer. Open. And that's all I do. When I find something I like, I tend to just stick with it. I don't feel like I need to keep looking for the next best thing or how does this one compare to that one. Unless it's something I'm just curious about. Excuse me, and it's a good deal, then I might be like, okay, y'all try it. Excuse me, I just dropped something. So we're going to powder down the face. Happy holidays to those of you who celebrate. I kept waiting for them to cancel that class. And then I thought, okay, they're not going to cancel it. Because I was thinking that everyone doesn't have family close by. And if they don't have family close by, or if their family celebrates and they don't, they'll still have somewhere to come. And the class, it wasn't a class I taught. I was working as manager tonight. It was a rope class where you can go and learn like how to do different rope ties and you know, stuff like that. And I think like almost 20 people showed up. And when I had first got in, because she's usually the first one there to get set up, and I said, I kept thinking they were going to cancel it. But then I thought if people don't have anywhere to go, or, you know, if they're not close to family or friends aren't doing anything, you know, they're in the rope, they can still come to the class. And the class is every certain day of the month. So it's known. And she said, yeah, that's exactly why I didn't want to cancel it. And I was like, but yeah, almost 20 people showed up. And they had a good time. And I'm just like, wow. And some people, they bring their person. And some people came alone. And some people, they're regulars at the Playhouse. They just come just to see who's there and just to kind of hang out, which is kind of cool. Well, it's cool for me because, you know, they'll come and talk to me and I don't know if it's because they're bored or they're just whatever, but some people are just so chill. And because when I work for this Skillshare as a manager, we don't ask for a front desk person. So that means I'm also the front desk person. So I'm more or less, you know, stuck up front. And I will go into this space, you know, just to look and see, make sure nothing's crazy is happening. Or if somebody wants to take a picture, they'll come and get me. But the Skillshares are really chill. They're really chill. And that's why I like it. But I still didn't say why shout out to Janet. Shout out to Janet because we were talking about movies. Because her and I do chat off of YouTube. Quite a few of you we chat off of YouTube, and so we were talking about different movies that we like, and I said I do like blood and guts and gore, especially if it has a psych element to it. For those who don't know, I have a doctorate degree in psychology. My master's is in criminal justice, so anything that has the two together, I'm like, I love the Saw series. People are like, oh, it's too much gore. I said, but there was a purpose. You know what I mean? Or even like the movie Hostel, which I forgot about, Janet. it was blood and guts, but it was a reason. It was a reason. And so we're going to use this same brush for bronzer and blush and highlighter. So we picked up medium level 7. I have a backup. I'm going to break that out as soon as 2026 comes in, and a few other things that I'm like down to the bottom. This is almost done, and I do think this little corner is all that's left of this powder. And I do have a backup waiting to be open. And I did refresh. If you've been here, you know this. Well, if you saw that. Was it a members only? Oh, yeah, it was a members only. Sorry. Where I showed them all of my palettes, because one of the perks and the one that I love the most is members get to shop my stash and tell me like what type of look to do, or they can pick a color story, or they can say, I want you to use this palette or whatever. And so I'm like, they need to see all the stuff I have, because there has been some changes since the last time that I did that. And so I said, you know what? I'm going to do a members only eyeshadow collection video. And y'all, I have 44 palettes. And I feel so good about it, because that means everything is going to get used on a regular basis. And that excites me, because I love makeup to be used. But shout out to Janet. I know I keep the Mountain Dew, y'all. The Mountain Dew. She was telling me about this movie on Netflix called Beast Within Me, I think it's called. Yo. And the first thing I looked at was how many seasons, because if somebody tells me about a movie that, oh my gosh, this movie is great, and I look and it's like 10 seasons, I ain't watching it. I'm not watching it, because I want to know the whole story. And I'm like, 10 seasons, and seasons are usually maybe 6 to 8 episodes. And I'm like, so I would have like 80 episodes to catch up. Nah, I ain't doing that. So, but thankfully this is the first season, and I think it's like 8 episodes. I'm up to 5. So the first night I watched the first episode, because I'm like, this will tell me, excuse me, this is medium. No, it's not. This is deep level 11 House Labs. And so I said, I'll just watch the first one just to see if I'm going to like it. And then I'll switch back, because I was also watching something else that I wanted to finish. And so I watched the first episode and I'm like, yeah. And so thank you, Janet, for that. I am enjoying it. Y'all, spoiler alert, okay? Spoiler alert. The 5th episode. The chick, she calls the FBI agent because she called him, he didn't answer because he was dead. The killer had killed him. She ain't know that though. And it was his burner phone at that. So she called him. She called the FBI agent and he didn't answer. So then she texted him. And why did he not answer the phone? I told y'all that the killer had killed him, and the killer had the phone. So he's looking at the phone. And she's like, when you get this, call me. Da, da. And I'm just waiting. Then she sent the text. And I'm like, ugh. And the text said, he killed his wife. And I'm like, oh, and he's sitting there just looking at the message, the killer, right? He's looking at the message. And then she texted, I have proof. He went and threw the phone in the river where he had put the body. Did he put the body there? No. He left the, serious spoiler alert. He had put the FBI's dead body in the trunk of the FBI's car and took it to a junkyard. And he was like, can we speed this up? So he gave the guy extra money to go ahead and put the car in a crusher. So like, you're going to just crush the dead guy in the trunk of his own car. But I was just like, and his wife, they never found her body. And she suspected him of killing this kid who accidentally because he was drunk, killed her kid. He went missing. So she was thinking, the guy, yeah, so he killing people. You ain't gonna never find him. But I was just like, girl. So here's my thing though, even though it's a burner phone, and maybe because I do criminal justice and psychology stuff, I'm not going to text you nothing incriminating like that, burner phone or not burner phone. And I'm telling the whole movie. And the killer dude knew that she was talking to the FBI agent. And so, like, even knowing that, because he flat out asked her, are you talking to Agent Abbott? And she was like, well, yeah, cause and so knowing that this dude knows you're talking to this FBI agent, you're going to text the FBI agent, even though it's a burner phone. Burner phone. I know I said burner funny. Even though it's a burner phone, you don't know like who. If I need to talk to somebody, I don't send what I need to say. I'll just wait till they call me back. I'm not, and I'm not a phone person. So if somebody calls me, I know it's something. Or if I call somebody, they know it's something. This is Watermelon Bliss from House Labs, same brush. But yo, and I wanted to watch more, and I'm like, I need to go to sleep. Because I knew I had to get up earlier than usual yesterday, actually, because now it's probably midnight. So Merry Christmas if you celebrate. It is actually Christmas now. Excuse me. And I knew I had to get up earlier than usual yesterday so I can get up and get gas and then head down to the space. But I was just like, yeah, I'm hooked. I'm hooked, Janet, and I'm glad it's only the first season. So however many seasons they have, I'm going to watch them. And I like that the season is over because some stuff I will watch episode per episode. Haunting of Hill House. That movie had me shook. If I was seeing shadows in my apartment, y'all, I was shook. I was shook. And I ended up having to watch it with the lights on. Yeah, that movie had me shook. But why was I saying that? I don't even know why I was saying that. Yeah, I wanted to watch more, and I'm like, I need to get up earlier than usual. So after this, I'll probably watch that next episode and eat dinner, because even though it's after midnight, I had lunch down at the space. Yeah, my whole schedule is just completely backwards. This one dude, we're messaging back and forth on a dating app, and this is Hibiscus Haze from House Labs. This brush, it keeps wanting to just look like that. Why is it not like bouncing back? I have had this brush a long time now. I really have. He'll say, it might be like 6 o'clock, and he'll be like, how has your day been? I'm like, my day just started 20 minutes ago. I'm fixing breakfast. And one time he messaged, and it was funny in a way. I'm like, dag, like he's really thinking about things. He has said, I can't imagine, you know, how it would be sleeping next to you because your schedule is completely upside down, which I could be like, your schedule's upside down. But I do know my schedule is different because most people are not nocturnal. So I do know it's me, even though I'm not the only one on the face of the earth that's nocturnal. And I said, I'm considerate. I said, when I have a partner, I go to sleep when they go to sleep. Well, I go to bed when they go to bed. And then when they go to sleep, you know, I'll get up and do work or just do whatever. So I am considerate that way. What I usually don't get that's annoying, I just pulled these at random, Raw Amber and Golden Pyrite from House Labs. What I don't like is, because I go to bed when they go to bed, and I might get up, if they get up at 7, I might get up at like 10, like just to spend time with them. You know what I mean? Before I go home or before they leave or whatever. And what I think happens is that they forget that I'm nocturnal. They forget that I haven't slept all night. And, you know, all I ask for is understanding, because I'm shifting and changing what I do to spend time with you. But sometimes one guy in particular, he was just like, y'all, this, I didn't do my intro, so I didn't say I cursed. This MFer, this is Raw Amber. He had y'all, listen. I knew this wasn't going to last long. Number one, he was really immature. And I only gave him a chance because I knew him from high school. And he remembered me from high school. And he was friends with one of my cousins. And so I'm like, let me just... And you see what I'm saying? I see that it's not as dark. But I am seeing like a shadow, like right here and like right here, but not as dark. So that might be what I'll need to do is put on a little bit of primer. And y'all, this is a highlighter. Why am I putting this like all over my face? Because I'm not paying attention. But y'all, look how House Labs, y'all. I'm telling you. We're going to switch brushes because we're going to use this puffer fish. What was I calling it? Puffer face brush. This brush. This is huge. And we're going to take Dim Light from Hourglass. I love this brush because look, it fits it fits in the whole compact, and I can just tap it, twirl it. You see it all over the brush and just all over the face. Oh my, and this brush is so soft. This brush. And just go all over the whole face. And if you have a puffer face like I do, if you have a thin face, this is going to be too big for you. But if you got a puffer face like me, y'all, you can just do this and you can come over and do all of this and your whole face is done. I had a brush giveaway, 2 winners. Some of the brushes were similar and some of the brushes were the same and some were not. And I'm not going to say no names, but one person in particular, she has a puffer face like me. She was like, I just want the number 67. This is a 67. But she did get other brushes too. But she was just like, she just kept saying 67. Y'all, this brush retails for $50. Of course, I purchased it on sale. It was like 30% off, I think. But yo, that brush. So I am really liking that show. The Beast Within Me, I think is called, on Netflix. Also, shout out to Nina. And every time I say Nina, I want to be like Nina, Bobina, Banana, Fana, Fofina. That old crazy song from back in the day. But shout out to Nina, because when I was down at the space tonight, she kept me company. We were texting back and forth like almost the entire time I was down there, which the shift was only 3 hours. But we were texting back and forth. I do have a backup also of MAC's Groundwork paint pot. I put this on top of the Fenty primer on my lid, y'all. You look at the edges inside at the bottom. Yeah, so I have a backup. So we cross over into 2026. I'm gonna have a new one of these, a new M7. What else new? Something. So we're gonna put the primer on first. I don't have brushes out. Yeah, so shout out to Nina. We were talking about makeup stuff, of course, and you know, strange things that people do within the beauty space. I caught up on one of Tanya's videos, the Victoria Beckham. She was comparing it to Dose of Colors. I forget what the green one was called, and I used to have that green one too. And I liked their Smoky Soiree, which was their black smoky one, but I had other smoky palettes, so I ended up getting rid of the Dose of Colors ones. Is this almost empty? This is like down in here. And I only have one more backup of this. And I open this and wait, no, hell no. This tells me I opened it October 10th. And y'all see these lines in here, right? That's space. So it's like down in here. I only use one eye primer. That's why. When I find something I like, I stick to it. And I like it even better putting that paint pot on top of it. Like, it's just that combination. This to me is a tacky primer. So when people tell me you need to use a tacky primer, glitter primer, this is tacky for me, okay? Like, what do your people say stuff not knowing why you do what you do, or even why you like what you like. But I get it. Something works for you. And so it's like, let me share this secret, which isn't a secret. The secret is I tried it, it didn't work. That's the secret. That's the secret. The secret is this is a tacky primer for me. And I don't know why I started putting the paint pot on underneath it, but it's just something about it. I just like it. And you see I've used it up. I had initially purchased Contemplative State to use as a shadow base. Down here, because you see my eyelid down here has some discoloration. It blended in, you couldn't see it, but the closer I got up here into my brow, it looked very mustard. And so I had to make sure to put like a darker tan or a mustard shade up here under my brow to cover it up. Whereas Contemplative State, no, that was Contemplative State. Groundwork, which is the one you're gonna see me put on, it's just like, is it there, is it not there? I love it. So we're gonna scoop, same brush, around the edges. And we're going to put that on. So it's there, but it's not there. It's like, is there something there? And what it does, not that it matters, because I'm going to put shadow on. Some people, they do just want to even out their complexion on their eyelids. And so some people will put concealer on their lids. But my shadow covers the discoloration on my lid. And also the Fenty eye primer, on the component, it says Invisipink. So it does have a pink tint to it. So I don't use this to get rid of discoloration. I don't know why. I think I just wanted to have like another shadow base to use or another primer to use, and then I started using them together and I'm like, wow, this is nice. So because my lids are hooded, if I wait too long, it'll crease in the crease, which is under here. And so that means I need to get on it with putting some eyeshadow on. And it will start to I can actually feel it when it starts to stick. It feels weird. I don't know. I don't have a plan. We're going to take this shade right here. Me with no plan. We're going to take this shade. This is Fantasia, and it's described as glimmering copper gold metallic. So up here are the shade names and what they're described as, because for some reason, maybe my OCD, I don't know, I just like for y'all to know, like, you know what it is now. Thank you for helping me process. When I talk to y'all, I be realizing a lot of things, because I used to always say, I don't know why I always feel like I want to say like what it's described as, and I just realized it just now, because I always say you don't have to use certain brands or certain palettes or whatever. And so if you don't have it, if I'm saying this is a shimmering copper gold metallic, you can look in your collection and see if you have this shade. Or you can just eyeball it and be like, oh yeah, I have something similar to that, and put that on. Because some people be like, oh, you have to have this palette. No, you don't. If you, I'll say this, if you have more palettes than me at this point, which is 42, but it'll be 44 after the new year come in, you have all the shades. You have all the shades, and that blended right on in. Okay, what are we gonna do? Y'all, my Esom's been staining. You see how they look kind of green? Oh my gosh. And I've been trying, and I had them for a long time though. Ooh. I kind of want to do this one and then this one, both the ones with the shifts, but I'm thinking we're gonna be sensible, I think, and use this one. This does, I think, blend into that one, because I feel like I put them next to each other before. And then maybe we did that outer corner. If I did that, I'm going to be like, girl, you did the same look twice. So this one, ooh, listen, the font is very fancy. That is Ancient Morla, blue-green multi-chrome with shifts of moss green, teal, and rust red. All of us have this shade. All of us have this. We love it. We have it. The same as this one up here, that blue, purple, teal, whatever. We have these. And when I was showing the members my stuff, yep, I have both of these shades at least 6 times each in different palettes. It's just a really popular shift. I really do enjoy this brand. It's conflicting. Y'all who been here, y'all know what I'm thinking right now. Oh, I got a few specks of fallout. Wow. Look how that, from here it looks the same shade as the first shade. So you turn and you see the red or the burgundy, whatever shade that is, come out. This is very interesting. Yeah, so me and Nina chatted up quite a bit tonight. It seems like I take turns, or it just depends, because people are busy at different times. Because sometimes I'll just send somebody a text, or they'll text me something, I'll reply back, and then it just ends up being like an hour conversation. Which is really cool. And then sometimes it's just like, okay, yeah, they're busy, which is fine, because we all have our moments of being busy. But that was really cool. So shout out to Nina, keeping me company in between doing my work at the space, catching up on Tanya's video. Excuse me. Grace had a live stream and she was done in less than 9 minutes. I'm like, dang. Because I was watching it and I was settling in, because I'm like, okay, let me hurry up and finish such and such I was working on so I can just focus on that. And then she was like, well, I'll see y'all soon later. I'll see y'all later. Bye. And I'm like, oh, dang, okay. She done. Grace be quick, y'all. Grace a moving target. She quick. I don't know if I want to put this on the outer, like here, because I want more. And I do like that you can see the shift. Like you see the red over here you don't, and then you see the red over here. I do like that. And part of me is saying take it further out so it'll have more space for the light to bounce off of it, which is what you need to see the shifts. Because if you just do a little sliver, the light is not going to bounce. So now you see more of the shift. You see the blue or whatever that is, and then you see more of the red, where over here you just see that little tiny bit. So they say when you're using multi-combs and dual combs, use 2 at the most, but y'all know I be wanting to do the most and putting on like 4 shades on the lid. So I'm switching up today. Our first tutorial of 2026. I might let it air on the first. Do I have something, excuse me for smacking, something to air on the first? I still didn't do my intro. And so even this side, you can see more of that color. I think I want to put that gray. I think I want to put, I'm going to put that green over here. Dang, it's only going to be 3 shades on my lids? Because I be putting like 4, 5. What's happening to me? Okay, so we're going to take the sinking. And that's described as deep mossy green shimmer with muted gold undertones. That's what this is described as. I want something darker. Let's put it there and see what it looks like. And then I might take one of these browns. Because initially I was thinking the gray. But that's going to be a light look. Let's do the gray. The gray is, emptiness grows. Cool muted taupe matte. We're going to take this shade. I'm just curious. So let's just see what it does. Okay. That's nice. I was going to say something a few moments ago and don't remember what it was. I don't remember what it was. I like that. I like that. Like, I really do. I wasn't sure. That's why I was like, let's just see. Experiment with y'all makeup. Because you'll learn something. You will either learn that you really like it and it's like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. Or, sorry, next time if I do this again, I'll tweak it and do such and such. Or, oh hell no, I ain't doing this ever again. This is busted. Like, nah. So you're going to learn one of those 3 things. And if it turns out the first 2, like, wow, this is bomb. Okay, now you have something else in your toolkit. And if it's like, okay, I would tweak it next time, you still have something else in your toolkit because you learned something about the shape you want to change, or something about the color combination or something. But do experiment with your makeup. Try not to just do the same look every single time. Like, yes, the colors are different, so it makes it look different, but all of your looks are exactly the same. But are they exactly the same if they're different colors? No. But all of your shapes are exactly the same. You're just changing colors. So do different stuff. Oh, I like this point. Man. Janessa, our pack last year, and we're carrying it to this year, is to do different shapes with our eyeshadow. But I've been doing this for a while now, trying to get both sides the same. What? And so now I'm gonna have to think of a different shape to do. So we've both been doing different, a few times we've done different shapes. One of our collab, our Winterween collab, she did a different shape and it was really nice. And so we when we make a pact to do something, like, we really do make a conscious effort to do that thing. And it's to just help us both grow in what we do and just to do something different. You know what I'm saying? This is E45. Goodness, what am I going to put, like, up here? And I could just leave this blank up there. The paint pot groundwork, it does have a slight color to it, and so does the Fenty primer, but we did put the paint pot over the primer. So we could just leave it like that, but I want to see, we're going to put this up here. This is, what are these names? Ugh. Fading Echo. Fading Echo Matte Soft Peach Nude. Soft Matte Peach Nude. So we're just going to lightly brush this under here. This is a non-shade on me. If I needed to blend out that top line of lid colors, which I don't, this would be a good shade for that because it is a non-color. And also maybe for, I didn't do my inner rim, buffing out my lower lash line because I do always put color on my lower lash line unless I forget. But we get ready to do that. That's nice. I want to put a little bit here, but I don't want to cross my brows, which is what I would have to do. So we're not. We're going to take the brush that I love for putting shadow under my brow, this brush, and we're going to take, do we want to do the dual chrome? Yeah, we're going to take that, and that shade is Moonchild Pastel Multichrome Highlight that shifts from ethereal pale pink to soft lilac and gold. I'm trying to see it, and I don't want to move this because there's a mirror behind here. So let me do that again and read it like I know how to read. Pastel multicolor. No, it's not, girl. I promise you I can read. Pastel Multichrome Highlight that shifts from ethereal pale pink to soft lilac and gold. This is making me want to try this on my face. We're going to use this brush. I just like, and this just happened like in the last year, this year, where, well, I'll say last year because you may see this January 1st, 2026. I just like having that little strip of color. You see that pink in there? That's this shade. I told y'all I had a shift in it. But it's hard. There it go. Right here. Where it go? There it go right there. Yeah. And when I look in it, I do see that pink lilac, and it does say ethereal pink to soft lilac and gold. Yeah. But looking at it, it just looks shimmery. But I just love this strip of light, and this brush allows me to get right up under my brow. Like, look, y'all look at that. Look at that. And if I didn't like this, I was going to take this, I'm sure it's, yeah, matte, soft, ivory white. I was going to take this and put over it. So just try something, because everything, well, I don't know. I'll say my belief. My belief is that 90% of things are fixable. I was going to say 98%, but I don't know. But because I haven't tested it and did surveys or whatever. But when I do something that I don't like, I'm always able to fix it. I'm always able to turn it into something that I'm at least okay with, to leave it the way it is. Y'all, this is pretty. Look at. So it's like nothing there. Like, what? It ain't nothing there. And then you turn and it's like, oh. Oh. Y'all, I love this. I'm putting more right here. Ooh, that's nice. Inner rims. I'm glad y'all can't see me because I'm scratching a spot that's very, like, don't do that on camera. I'm thinking if I want to use Hung Vango, his liners are taller than all my other ones. And so here's the bottom of the liners, like right here. These are my MAC ones, and this is my NYX ones. And so like Hung Vango is like, I stand above the rest, literally. Do we want to use these? I only pulled them out just to compare. Yeah, let's do it. This is Vivid Rich from NYX, and it is called Mechanical Liner. The shade is Smoking Topaz. I just used this not too long ago. I was gonna say I'm excited for the rest of our beauty face-offs for 2025. I think we have like 3 in a row because the one I was gonna do Tuesday, I woke up, I wasn't feeling well. And Wednesday was when I had to work down at the space. And so I rescheduled Tuesday's live for the 27th. So it's going to be 3 beauty battles in a row. And I'm excited for it. Shout out to Tanya. We were talking about her earlier, her Victoria Beckham palette that she purchased. She's going to do a battle with that against the Dose of Colors, that green one, I forget what it was called, and that's why I had mentioned it and I forgot to say that part. But shout out to Tanya. I'm looking forward to that. What I'm really looking forward to, Tanya, also is the looks you do with Bloom. from Natasha Denona, because I'm really curious of how the shades will show up and what combinations that you use, because a lot of those shades, they didn't show up on me. And the thing about being somewhat near the middle of the spectrum is either light shades will be dusty on darker skin tones, or they're going to pop and look really, really pretty, really beautiful. And so that's why I'm curious to see, because I don't think I've seen anybody that much deeper than me that used that palette. And so I'm just really curious. We are going to, this one is from MAC, and this one is, I believe is, no, it's not. Oh, this is Sephora. So Sephora, MAC, and this is, no. Sephora, NYX, and this is MAC. So MAC's a little taller, and the reason I thought this was MAC was because it's silver, this is silver, this is silver, and this is silver. The NYX ones, the whole thing is whatever color it is. So MAC is a little bit taller than Sephora and NYX, but still Hung Van Gogh is like, I rise above all the rest. It's like, it's just crazy, man. It's crazy. But I thought this was bananas, which MAC has a bananas. Excuse me, but we're going to use this one since that's the one we had pulled out initially. And this one is Lime Green Matte. Is this one. I love this blush situation. Y'all, for me, House Labs just works. It just works. We have a wannabe eye booger. Gotta take care of those things. I have something. Sometimes I think to do a thing, or to inquire about doing a thing. This is feeling scratchy. And then it just doesn't feel like timing. It just doesn't feel right, like at that time. And what it usually comes down to is that it's not the right time, because I'll have another thought later that builds on the first thought. And then it's like, okay, this is what my mind was waiting for. And even when I wrote more, you know, poetry, short stories, flash fiction, I would get to a point where, like whatever story it was, that I just wouldn't be motivated to write. And in my mind, I love writing. I love writing. I haven't really written y'all since COVID. Something just shifted in me, and it was just, and yeah, 5 years later, right? Almost 6, and I still am not writing. I am back to reading almost every day now. But I would be writing a story, and then I just wouldn't have any motivation to write more. And people say, oh, you have writer's block. No, I didn't have writer's block, because what it turned out to be is something wasn't clicking with the story I was writing. Because all of a sudden one day I would just like have a thought, blah, 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 blah. Like the story would pop into my head, and then like this alternate ending or whatever. And so I tell people, for me, it's not writer's block. For me, subconsciously, something's not fitting, and it'll just come to me out of the blue one day, and I'm like, that's what I was waiting for. And that's how I kind of feel with this thought that I had to do this thing, because I did mention it to someone. They're like, oh, that's a really good idea, but it just didn't, something just wasn't quite right, you know what I'm saying? And then tonight when I was at the space, that thought came back to me, and and other stuff came along with it, and I'm like, that's what it is that I need to ask. And so I am excited. It's either going to be a yes or a no. I kind of want to throw this away because this is feeling scratchy. This is feeling, it's tugging on my skin, and it's feeling scratchy. Usually I do interims and lower lash line after my powder down. This is the MAC one. I just want to see how this one is feeling. This one is feeling really smooth. And I do have wrinkles under here, but that doesn't make it feel smooth or scratchy. The MAC one is really smooth. Is it because it's over the other one? I don't know. So I'm not going to throw away the Sephora yet. I am going to, this one is bananas with a hyphen in between each letter. We're going to try this first another day just to see. And if this is still creamy, this one is going in the trash, because this one felt really scratchy against my skin. And I think I had got that one just out of curiosity. This is the MAC one. Got this one just to see, or the MAC one to see, like, is this going to work? I do like the MAC formula better than the NYX, but I do have a few of the NYX ones. So I think there may be 3 matte colors I have that overlap with colors with the NYX. MAC is, to me, is a drier formula, but not drying. Like how this felt like it was scratchy and it was kind of pulling on my skin, my wonderful wrinkles under here. But this one just glides right over it. And because it is a drier formula, it stays in my waterline until I take it the frick off. Sometimes the NYX, the outer corners and the inner corners will wear away because my eyes tear a lot. And so that's why I wanted to see if this yellow would be as vibrant as this one, and it is. And Hung Vango. These suckers will last until you take them off. And I do always put inner rims and lower lash line. These do not come off my inner rims until I remove it, including if my eyes tear on the insides or the outside. These do not budge. And I wish he had more vibrant colors. Like, I'm going to show you, serious detour here. I'm going to show you all the liners that I have. Oh, I just dropped one. Excuse me. Because I like doing different colors. Okay, so these are the 2 Hung Vango. So we got the 2 of the bolder shades because I knew I was going to use them versus getting like taupes or whatever. And this one, that did we use that? Yeah, we did, for inner rims. These are all of my eyeliners and I use all of them. But I wanted to have different colors. And so you see 2 whites. One is NYX and one is the MAC. And so I just wanted like different colors. And so I'm just not a black eyeliner chick. And I do put colors on my lower lash line, eyeshadow on my lower lash line. And I really enjoy it because if I put a dual chrome under there, which maybe we'll do that today, it's like, what is this going to turn into? Is it going to stay how it looks, or is it going to turn to another color? I put these in upside down, so all the MAC ones are this way, so you can't tell. I store them upside down so at least you can see the color on here. But what was I looking for? I was looking for, yeah, the yellow one and the NYX one. So I'm going to do a flat lay. You know what? I'm not going to do a flat lay. You know why I'm not going to do a flat lay? I'm not going to do a flat lay because, I mean, I still could, but it's not fun anymore because Instagram capped hashtags to 5. And so I'm like, how are we supposed to tag brands if we're going to put 5? And they said for us to be more creative in how we use our hashtags and not just put a bunch of, they didn't say the word frivolous, but instead of putting just like a bunch of, you know, hashtags for whatever. But I'm just like, yeah, so that really did something to me where I'm just like, y'all know what? And people do that hoping that the brands will see their stuff. You know what I'm saying? And so now and they used to allow 30 and now it's 5. I mean, you could have did 20 and then 10 and then next summer, you know, 5. You went from 30 to 5 like overnight. And even, I'm not on the top tick, but they capped off at, I think, either 3 or 5 over the summer. So I'm like, why is Instagram trying to be like them? So we're going back into this palette. I think I want to put this on lower lash line to see what that looks like over this. Part of me wants to put this on the inside to see what that does. Let's do that too. So just try stuff, y'all. So this is this brow bone shade. I know y'all see that pink. Oh my gosh, it's gorgeous. So we're just going to see what that's going to look like. Ooh, under here. Ooh, this eye is twitching. It only starts twitching when I'm working on my lower lash line or up or inner rims over here, or when I'm putting on mascara. So I don't know if something is triggering a nerve or whatever. And I forget who, but somebody said it might be dry eyes. And so for the first couple of days after they said that, I do have re-wetting drops. I was using them, it says use like 4 times a day, but I would only use them like when my eyes felt dry. And so I had said I need to just start using them throughout the day, period. But I keep like forgetting. I need to probably keep them on my kitchen counter or something because they're tucked away. I have, I think, like 2 unopened ones on my bathroom counter and then the boxes in my medicine cabinet, so I don't see it. And so I need to put them somewhere where I'll see it because then I'll use it more. And my antihistamine eye drops I use twice a day. I don't forget those. Those are that's in my skincare caddy. Y'all, that is pretty. That is pretty. I think it's pretty anyway. Now we're going to take what is this called? Fangs in the Dark. This purple blue one. Fangs in the Dark is described as cool toned multi-chrome with a rich plum base and flashes of teal, blue, and pink. I don't think I've seen any pink in there, so it must have really just been a flash and I missed it. I see the blue, I see the purple. Excuse me. His name is Bruce, by the way. That thing in my throat that wants to keep making noises. Cool tone multi-chrome with rich plum base, flashes of teal, blue, and pink. I see the teal and the blue, but I don't see any pink. But this shift we all have numerous times. We're going to put this over that yellow. And so this is what I'm saying, like just seeing like what something is going to look like. And I did think this is what it was going to do, not realizing it said it had pink in it, because this is pink, even though it looks like that. I really love this palette. When I saw the color story, I was just like, oh my goodness, I want it. I want it. I want it. And I have it. So thank you for those who use my affiliate code for Notoriously Morbid, because they do credit. Well, for me anyway. I don't know if it's like that for everybody, but I receive credit. And so when I say, you know, I purchase something, is with the credit that I earn from you guys using my code. I love taking the liner, and so thank you for that, for those who use it. I love taking whatever liner's on the outer half of my lower lash line all the way out to the edge of my eyeshadow. And what happens is when I put eyeliner on my upper lash line, it creates like a triple wing, because you'll still see this shade, then you'll see whatever color eyeliner I put here, and then you'll see the eyeshadow. So it's almost like a triple wing type thing going on, and I love how that looks. Of course I love how it looks. That's why I keep doing that. We're going to clean up this fallout on my face in the easiest way possible. We're going to take that hourglass. No, we don't put dim light under the eyes, because the undertone of it makes my under eye discoloration look darker. So what we're going to do, we're going to take luminous light from, excuse me, hourglass, and this does have some shimmer to it. This camouflages fallout for me anyway, and you see it does brighten. Like if you like that brightened under eye look, which I really don't, but it works. It works. Like, where's the fallout? And this can go all over the face too. We're going to take our moon pie brush and we're going to swipe that all around like we did with dim light. And then we're just going to do the whole face. Y'all, this brush, I had 3 of them. I gave 1 away in that giveaway. And the reason I wanted 2, and I did get them, it was either 30% off or 40% off. The reason that I got 2, I'm going to try this just to see if I really still like this. This is Exquisite Beauty, also from Notoriously Morbid. I have it sitting here because I wasn't sure about it. Because my other brushes dry within 12 hours or so. This brush takes sometimes like 48 hours or more to dry. Look how big this is. Look how dense this is. Like, this is like, this is, you see this brush? This takes like 2 days to dry. And last time I used it, I didn't wash it. And I'm not going to wash it this time either, but I could because I have another one. If you want something comparable, not as soft as Scott Barnes. This is the Sigma F30. So it's the same. It's still a moon pie face brush, but it's tapered. This one is just a beast all the way around. This one is tapered. But this is a good one too. This one from Lethal, it's just looking, it's not keeping the shape anymore. Like I have had it since they launched, so probably a good 2 years. But this also, and it is tapered, but you can use this the same, and this is soft though. And you can use this the same as this. But this one, because it's so big, if you got a big round face, look at that. You're done. You are done. Upper lash line color. What are we going to use? What are we going to use? Lethal Cosmetics, their water activated liners bundle. It came with 10, but the palette only holds 9. So the other one is a black one called Y2K. That's in another palette because I seldom use black eyeliner. This is white. No, we're not going to do that. Maybe this one. This is a red. I always say that when I pick this up because I want to say it's brown, but it's not. This is a red. It's a darker red than this red. Yeah, let's do it. Let me move these brushes. Move these brushes. And because these are water activated, you got to put water in it to activate it, to use it. Keep water in here, which I need to take out. Actually, the water's looking good. I think I used it twice and it's still looking clear. Sometimes, like if I use a red or something, it'll be like, girl, that's nasty. We're going to use this brush. No, we're not. We're going to use one just like it, but one that's stained. So let me show you again. I have had them for years. I have had them for years. Or should we just use a lethal brush? Let's use the lethal brush. This one is a little bit more stiff, even though they're both not it. Actually, they feel about the same. So we're going to use the lethal brush with lethal water activated eyeliner. So we're going to tap the, oh, that's a lot of water. I tap the brush in the water and then I just kind of wipe it off on the sides. And then, oh, let me not, oh, that water was tilted. Wow. And so then we just take the brush and wet the liner. You can go in the middle to mix the shades. I have never done that. My OCD is like, you better not ever. But maybe one day I will. And it dries fairly quickly. So if I feel like I have too much water on here, I'll tap it onto the palette I used for primer and foundation, but it really wasn't a lot. That's why it was just droplets. Well, not even droplets, but those little pen marks. Because sometimes it's like a lot comes off. So we're going to do this side. You'll be able to see better when I do the other side. The other eye. And so that is what this is. In a way, it's blending in. But we are going to go back over it. Oh, you see it. I try to do a thin line. This is not a thin line. When I do a line that's too thick, if I open my eyes too wide, it'll transfer up here. And I kind of feel like that's what's going to happen. And that's an easy fix too. Whatever shadow you have up there, just put more on top of where the liner is and it'll just cover it up. This is too much water I put in here. And so I already did tap it on here. So you see what I'm saying? How you see so much more of it than those 3 little dots. Because if it's too wet, it'll just bleed out and I won't have any control, or I'll have very little control over where it goes, where the liner goes. Because y'all know water don't stay in one place. Yeah, this side was good. All right, we're going to go back. This is still wet. It was dry after the first time, so I knew, yeah, I didn't put a lot of water, or too much water, I should say, in it. There's a lot in there now. So I'm able to just keep using what's in here. It dries really quick. It dries within like 10 or 20 seconds. No, I've never counted, so I'm really just making up that number. But I wanted this because I seldom use a black. I was using Inglot. Y'all, Inglot is... Inglot don't move. And this being water activated, it has its plus and minuses. It's extremely easy to take off. Whether you use... Y'all, look at that. Oh my gosh. So you kind of see the pink a little bit. Then you see that line and then you see the shadow. I'm going to have to wet this again and I don't want to. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to wipe off some of the moisture from on the palette. And see if I can just get a little bit. Because I just want just a little bit. That's the first time I've ever recaptured water from on the palette. We're doing our liner. What was I saying? Super easy to wash off because whether you use a white or just wet a cotton swab, because water activates it when it dries. If you put something wet on and wipe it, it comes right off. That Inglot, I had to work to get that off. But the good thing is that it stays. If I'm having a teary eye day, which I do often, I will not use these water liners because as I tear, it's just going to run down my face, y'all. So this is what I was saying. You see those 3 different lines? You see that shadow, you see the liner, and then you see the shadow up there. So it's almost like a triple wing. I love it. I love it. I didn't get, liner didn't transfer. And so all you see now on my mobile lid is the liner. And that's why I try to get a thin line so you can still see some of the color. But also that's why I take my color, my lid shades. Your mobile lid goes to here where the socket is. I take my lid shades up to here. So that way you can still see them. Otherwise you would not see any. If I didn't put on liner up here, you would see a thin strip of the shadow. But with the liner on, excuse me, you only see my shadow on the lid if I'm looking down like this, or if I look down and raise my brows. So that's why I do my makeup that way. And something I realized, a lot of people have hooded lids. A lot of people have hooded lids. Hooded eyes is when your lid actually droops over your, like the whites of your eye. So my eye shape is hooded lids. It's not a hooded eye because my eyeball is not obstructed by my eyelid. Did I say that right? Mascara. Lancome Seals Boost XL mascara base. Yeah, so I haven't been feeling doing flat lays. And so I was telling somebody I will probably just do reels, which I double as shorts. And so that's like, oh, this is a look I did. If you want to see it, you know, go to my profile page. My YouTube link is over there. If you're watching this on YouTube, click the related video. So it might just be one of those things because I'm just not feeling it anymore. It's like, we're going to take Tower 28. The shade is Drift. It's a brown. Grace has sent this to me, and I really like it. I really do like what this does to my lashes. This eye is twitching. Oh my gosh, and it feels so weird. Look at that. Look. No Tower 28? Tower 28. It's just like, what? And I want to try their their black one. But I have a mini MAC stack, which I love, open. And I have Beyond Mascara and black open that I'm loving. And I try not to have open more than 2 black mascaras. Because I do use up my mascaras because I don't have open more than 2 at a time. And I have a white mascara from Lethal, which is called Capacity. But look, y'all. Look at my lashes. I really like this. One day I might break down and get it. I don't know. And I have a hella thick that's waiting to be opened. This I do think is almost done. I opened this in April. The PAO is April next year. It's a 12-month PAO. But it's a little baby though. So this, because somebody asked me my favorite mascara. And I said why I like each one. And I couldn't pick a favorite. I was going to do my bottom lashes as if I didn't have Tower 28 down there. Beyond Mascara is expensive. I do always post on my community tab when they have sales. I felt so relieved. I'm in a no-buy right now, and it started the first day of the mass blackout in November 25th, and we're going for 3 months until March 25th. And I had even said I'm not going to even post sales on my community tab. So for mascara, if we're in here, I'll usually end up spiking it. It's pulling the lashes straight out. But for here, I'll put it at the base and then turn it as I'm coming through. And for me, that does seem to coat my lashes better than just flicking it like that. Or some people will like actually blink their eyes to get their lashes through the mascara. But I like just turning it. And so, you can't see it. Can you see my lashes? I don't know. These lashes are shorter than the lashes on this side. That I know for a fact. So I wasn't able to list a favorite mascara because the ones I have open and the hella thick that's waiting to be open, I really like that one too. But I'm waiting to use up either this one, and I just opened the mini MAC one. The first pass for the mascara, I do just get it on because this right here, this will make your lashes crispy as hell. And them shits will start breaking off. And so my first pass is just getting the mascara everywhere. Well, on all of my lashes as best I can. And then I'll go back and, you know, wiggle it and twirl it and, you know, all of that stuff. I haven't looked on their website lately, but for the Lancome, it did used to say, I haven't looked at it lately, as I said, or on the Sephora or Ulta website. It said use it as a mascara primer and also as a mascara mask. And so they were like, you know, put it on before you go to sleep and just leave it on. I knew not to do that because this, when I had the full size tube, it would go on white. And I'm like, oh, I like that look. And I left it. And when it dried, y'all, my lashes was crunchy. I was like, oh, hell no, would I leave this on all night? And so looking at reviews, people were like, I did this as a lash mask when I got up the next day. And I was, you know, touching my lashes. They were breaking off. And I'm like, see, And so I hope that they change that because that is not something to put on and just leave by itself. Because, yeah, people were mad. And as it dries, it goes clear. So I was just like, okay, that didn't work. So I was trying to keep that color. What am I looking for? I kind of want to do a flat lay, but then I'm not feeling it. I'm just not feeling it. Like, why did y'all... Yes, I left stuff out like I usually do to do a flat lay, but I'm putting stuff away right now. Because that annoyed me. I do like how under my nose is looking. So I do... But I still need to decide if I'm going to keep this one or go for one that's more... I can still see the slight shadow like right here and right here, but that's because I know it's there. I don't think it's super noticeable. And again, almost everybody has it. So it's not like, oh my God, look at that she got under her nose. And so it's not anything like that. So I might just do like I did today. Yeah, I think that is what I'm going to do, is just do what I did today. We need to do our lip. I knew I was forgetting something. We're going to put this on because I'm not sure about this color. I done left out all the House Lab stuff. That was taking some of the, and I left the hourglass out. We're putting all this stuff away. I'm not doing a flat lay. And I love doing flat lays because sometimes people want to know, because when I post the pictures, I would do the flat lay so they can see what all the products were I use. I'm just not feeling it. And maybe sometime that somewhere down the road, I might start feeling it again. But I'm just not feeling it. I'm just not. So we're gonna, I'm still putting stuff up, y'all. Thank you for keeping me company while I'm cleaning up my space. Now I do need to switch out the water because that red turned into a different color. This shade is called Exquisite Beauty, also from Notoriously Morbid. We're going to shade it up. Somebody asked why I do that, and the best I can show you why is in some of their thinner formulas. This is also from Notoriously Morbid. You see that oil in there, and so I always turn it upside down and shake it and make sure it's mixed. You see what I'm saying now? You don't see just that oil or whatever it is that they use. And other ones do that too. Some do and some don't. It just depends on how thin the formula is. Because every now and then in the live stream, somebody say, why are you tapping that on your hand? And so that's why. Just to make sure the color is evenly distributed. And sometimes I do that with mascara too. I don't know if it makes a difference for mascara because you can't see in the tube. So we are not going to wipe any of this off. There's like a blob like right there. So we're just gonna, and this one smells funny, but it smelled funny from day one. And they hand make their lipsticks. And so it's not like, oh yeah, that was stock from on the shelf from 5 years ago. No, it's freshly made. And so I know it's not bad. It's just, their other ones smell like sugar. It smells like candy. It smells like something sweet. And this is like, it's like burnt toffee. That's what it smells like, burnt toffee. Yeah, it smells like something's burnt. Burnt toffee. If I didn't know. And they say on their website that they hand make it. If I didn't know that they hand made their lipsticks, I would have been like, okay, this is rancid. This is going in the trash. Yeah, burnt toffee. Burnt toffee on burnt graham crackers. That's what it smells like. So sometimes I like this color, and sometimes, and it's a dual chrome. Maybe a multi-chrome. And I'm saying that because my top lip looks green and my bottom lip looks pink. And so how do I fix that? What I will... Oh, goodness. What I'll do in the future, I do have a black from MAC, and I also have Rune from Notoriously Morbid, which is a black. Put this on and then put this on top of it. And whatever color it turns, that's what it turns. It should bring out one of the shifts. Because to me, this looks like two different lipsticks. The top is looking green. The bottom is looking pink. That is crazy. Excuse me for smacking. I do like how the top lip looks. I like that looks green. Do I want to do that now, or is that going to be like, is it going to make it goopy? All right, this is called Rune Super Opaque Rich Black, it says. Yo, we are just, or I could line my lips and fill them in with a black lip liner and then put this on top of it. Or we can put one of these eyeshadows on top of it. Sometimes I do tap, which color was in this one? This Sinking Deep Mossy Green Shimmer with Muted Gold Undertones. Do we want to put that on there? But is it still going to look different because the bottom is looking pink? All right, let's just do the black. We're experimenting. Try new things with your makeup. So we're going to put Rune on. See, that smells good. For those who don't know, and those who do know, you know what I'm about to say. For those who don't know, black is my favorite lip color. And as you can tell, I am a liquid lipstick person. I only have 2 bullet lipsticks from the love of my life. I purchased one, and sneaky ass Janessa, she sent me another one. I had purchased Van Gogh Red, which to me looks like an orange red. And I had wanted, this is nice just like this. Some people do two-tone lips. That's nice. And I thought I wanted On the Runway, but that looks really orange. And I knew it looked orange. And I'm like, oh, that'll add something to my stash because I don't have orange lipstick. And she's like, oh, you don't need to get it. You don't need to get it because Van Gogh Red does look orange red on you. Then she sent me a screenshot of a shipment confirmation of On the Runway. That's why I call it sneaky ass Janessa. So we're going to put this on top. Is this going to look brown? What is happening? For some reason, I think I did this before. I don't know, y'all. I don't. And the smell of it is off-putting. I don't like burnt smells. It almost looks like the top, but not quite. I can see that the bottom lip line is looking black, and we did put this over that, but this is a thinner formula. Even though these are both liquid lipsticks, this is a thinner formula than this one. This one is a thicker formula. I do like this better, though, because it does look more the same than the top to me looking greenish and the bottom looking pinkish. I'm gonna still leave this out. I'm gonna still leave it out, and I'm gonna try this over black lip liner. Line my lips, fill them in, and then put that on and just see. Because I just keep going back and forth over it, over what to do with that. So I'm gonna leave that out for me to keep experimenting with it. But this is our look. Oh, we've been here almost 90 minutes. Oh, Lord. Oh, Lord. Let's go ahead and take our pictures. Now this one. I see you looking at me. And then this one. Is one eye looking really big? I'm gonna hold up the palette. These are the pictures that I crop and put on Instagram. And I do a collage one of the look and the palette that goes into the gallery and my phone in a folder that's titled whatever the brand is. And so this will go into my Notoriously Morbid folder in my gallery. So I can always look back and see what looks I did with a certain palette. Palettes I don't have anymore. I have been decluttering some of those pictures. And so this is, get that glare off of there. So that's that picture. So I will speed up the video and capture that picture, and that's how I do pictures. And so thank you for being here with me. Happy New Year. Happy New Year to you. If you stayed the entire time, put a black and a green and a pink heart, because that's going to tell me who's been here through the whole thing. And don't forget, there's a lot of links down below. There's stuff over here popping up for you to watch. Thank you so much. I really do love this look. Oh, and the face situation. Like this, the lip looks the same. Just that smell. Maybe I'll put some sugar in it. I'm gonna mess up the whole formula. I'm gonna go, y'all. Thanks again. Happy New Year. I hope this was enjoyable to you. I hope that this was a fun way to bring in your new year after you celebrate it. Like if you home and you've been drunk and you done got up and, you know, heaved up your stomach and had some dry biscuits or some hair of the dog or whatever they call it. Thank you for chilling out and watching me. And if you didn't go through any of that, thank you still for being here. Make sure you subscribe. Consider joining the membership. Y'all, we got some exciting stuff coming up this year. I'm telling you that right now. I am so freaking excited. But we're going to go. As always, I didn't do the intro, but part of the intro is this. And this is how I do my outro. As always, self-acceptance, self-love. That is the Crazy Troll Nation way. Thank you, and you will see me soon. Bye.